Hi everyone, welcome to Simble Things, a channel where I talk about living with C-PTSD. And today, I didn't really feel like recording, but I felt like I should. I'm trying to keep up this kind of weekly schedule that I'd push and make it happen, so maybe a slightly shorter video this week. Today we're going to talk about why workplaces aren't more caring. And there's a very simple one-word answer for this. It's called capitalism. People be like, oh, yeah, well, it's easy to just say that, blah, blah. Oh, communism doesn't work, oh, bullshit. I don't care about any of that other shit, right? Well, I kind of do, but not right here and right now. It's the central reason why workplaces aren't more caring. And you may have a good workplace that does care, cool. But most aren't very caring because most don't have the inclination. There's no benefit for them to be more caring just because you have C-PTSD. I mean, if you even tell them, most places I've worked in my life have never known I have C-PTSD, and I would never tell them because they probably wouldn't hire you if you knew. So a lot of the time we have to work at places and just kind of deal with it, and we can't just say, yep, this is how it is for us. So it can be quite difficult, balancing that. I think that's one of the hardest things. There's nothing easy about having C-PTSD, but if you never had to worry about money and never had to worry about bills, coping with all the other issues would be a great deal easier. I can't even imagine how much easier it'd be, because I can't imagine what it's like to not have to worry about being able to pay your rent, being able to pay your power bill and all the other utilities and stuff. I just can't imagine it. We've got slightly off topic, but it's okay. We're going to bring it all back. So the reason why workplaces aren't more caring is because it's not in their interest. It's easier for them, most likely it's going to be easier for them to just get somebody else, because there's a whole load of other people out there that they can bring in to do the job, and they'd rather do that than give you extra time and attention because of your condition. And it's horrible that's the way it is, but it is that's the world we live in. And whether you think capitalism's good or bad or whatever, it's here, it's what we live in, that's what our lives are largely defined by, our day-to-day lives, because that's what determines what we do day to day, which is often working and stuff, right? And so it's not really in capitalism's interest, or whoever you work for, it's not in their interest to have a really caring workplace. There's a lot of workplaces that could do things to make things better for us, that could do more flexible working, that could have the option to work from home, they could give mental health days, all these kind of things that could be done, but aren't, because capitalism doesn't really care about us. It doesn't care about our C-PTSD. It only cares about what's happening in the here and now. There might be some exceptions in this. If you're very specialist in what you do and the amount of training or expertise that you have would be very difficult to replace, then yeah, you might have a workplace that's willing to go the extra mile or whatever for you. Or you might be lucky and just work for somewhere really nice. Cool. If you're in that position, then really happy for you. Even though that sounded sarcastic, it really wasn't. That's just my voice, right? But it's hard, right? Because for most of us, we don't work for super caring workplaces, or we might even just be struggling even to find a job that will take us on because our issues make it so difficult for us in day-to-day life. There's so many people that can't even get a job, and maybe they're having to survive on some kind of welfare system or through family or something like that. And then some of us don't even have that, right? Sometimes, when people just say, oh, well, everything will work out for you, it'll be okay. Everything doesn't work out for everybody. With capitalism, there has to be an underclass. Like, there's a reason why minimum wage exists, right? Like, if they could pay you less, they would, right? And that's why they have minimum wage, that stops them from paying you less. So part of what makes capitalism function how it does is that there needs to be an underclass. There needs to be a whole demographic of people that don't have jobs, that don't have places to live, and that's to like scare the other people into working the jobs that they don't want to do, they have to do to be able to live. So in a situation like that, there's not very much space for caring workplaces. And even the ones that do that bit of extra effort to be caring, there's always a limit, right? There's always going to be a limit. Okay, so they gave you a couple of days off because you were having like a really bad episode. Cool. But how many times can you do that before, you get sacked? There's always got to be this line. There's always going to have to be a limit, because that's how capitalism works, and it's whack. And that's one of the reasons why there's so many people with mental health conditions on the streets that have to live lives if they're lucky, sometimes in institutions, but yeah, a lot of them end up living on the streets. And if they didn't have mental issues when they got forced into that situation, then they will have mental issues afterwards. Like, there's no way you can be living that life without having those issues. I'm saying this stuff now and I'm like wondering, like, what is the point of this video? I guess the real point is that we have to acknowledge how our conditions aren't conducive to the society we live in, and we need to understand that. And a lot of us do, right? There's a reason why we probably won't tell employers about our mental health conditions. It's generally not a good thing. There's some places now where you can maybe, but in general, it's not going to be a done thing, and it's something that we have to be very aware of, because there's always going to be a limit to how much our condition can encroach on our daily lives. And that's something else that adds fear, right? It adds fear, it adds anxiety, it just adds a lot of like mental weight on top of our lives. And there's another thing to like put into the box, I guess, of all the crap that we have to deal with living with C-PTSD. What can we do about it? Well, I guess we can try and find jobs where they are more flexible with what we do, but there's not much you can do about changing the whole structure of society, right? So it's another one of those things that we just have to be very aware of, and we have to learn to deal with and be okay with. It's another one of those things that's a challenge for us. And as much as I'd like to have these nice little videos that just wrap up in a kind of, okay, this is a bad thing, but now here's the good thing, and here's how we make everything better. Like, that doesn't exist, does it? It doesn't always exist, and acknowledging some of that stuff can sometimes be a really big hurdle for us, because it just feels like, how many more things do we have to deal with? I don't know, count them up and keep a list, and you'll probably have to keep adding to that list quite regularly, because the issues can mount up, and in a capitalist world, it makes it even more harder for somebody with CPTSD to live. So if you're surviving, well done. Like, it's a big achievement. So I guess those are the positives to take, that if you're managing just even on the edge, then you're doing such a great job. You're living, and just keep living and make each day better, as hard as that is. So sorry if this video is a little bit depressing. I don't know how you have happy videos if you have a channel about C-PTSD. You know, like, if you were thinking about things to put on YouTube to have a successful channel, you probably shouldn't talk about C-PTSD, right? Like, it's never gonna be like super happy fun times. That's just not how our lives are. But we try and find whatever solace we can. We keep holding on. We keep trying to grow, and we keep trying to have a better tomorrow than today, and that's all you can do. So keep going, just keep trying, and I'll catch you in my next video. We'll see what that is, and I really hope you tune in for that. I hope you check out some of my older videos if you've not seen them. Please like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.